Well, hello there. I'm Super Sword 57, and this is the topic corner of culture. This is the new and improved topic corner of culture, the monthly show where I answer questions that my Super Swordlings have asked over on Patreon. You can consider this a spiritual successor to the Q&A videos I did back in the day. This right here is just a temporary set. I'm gonna have something different in the future, so don't worry about it, my swordlings. But enough about that. Let's move on to this video's topics. Ikuyo! The first topic comes from Super Swordling Joe Taylor, who asks, what are your thoughts on the Tokyo 2020 Olympics being affected by the virus? And do you think it's still a good idea for me to travel there in July? Now, first off, I can't actually mention the current infamous virus that is going around, because YouTube is very picky with sensitive topics right now on YouTube, and I don't want to be demonetized. But anyway, I don't think that it's actually gonna affect the 2020 Tokyo Olympics that much. There is still quite some time left, and there are very talented scientists that are on the case. So as for you going there in July, I think that is gonna be just fine. Just have a super sugoi time when you're there. It's all gonna be handled by the time you get there. But just going a little bit off topic, I am really looking forward to the Tokyo 2020 Olympics. It's gonna be really interesting to see the opening ceremony, since it's all gonna be about Japanese culture. And I'm sure you swordlings will agree. And there's also gonna be a lot of Japanese martial artists present during the Tokyo 2020 Olympics. So you can be sure that it's gonna be sugoi. The next topic comes from Super Swordling Heldra, who asks, should we expect another episode of GAIDEN? Now, what I think Heldra Dono is referring to is the Sephiroth Sword 57 GAIDEN show, the live-action anime that I have been working on really hard for a long time. I already gave you swordlings an update on what was going on with that project in the last video, but it wouldn't hurt to go over an abridged version of that story. So here is the deal. The Sephiroth Sword 57 GAIDEN show is currently on hold. And what I mean by that is that I can't really work on the show as it is right now. You see, the two main reasons for why this is because one, there isn't enough manpower to help out with the recordings and such. And two, it is on a very tight budget, and at the moment it is quite an expensive show to work on. But there's also a third reason, and that is that it has to be recorded in the summer, and it is currently winter outside. With this much snow, it's impossible to do the scenes that I have envisioned for the show. You swordlings will know why when the episode actually comes out. So don't worry, the show is not cancelled. It will happen at some point. It's just something that I can't do at the moment. So in the meantime, I'm going to be working on reviews that are going up on this channel instead, along with other projects that aren't as expensive. The next topic comes from Elof Jokerström, who asks, you made it no secret that one of your favorite, if not the all-time favorite game series is the Super Sugoi Final Fantasy series, and Final Fantasy VII in particular. But this series began on Nintendo consoles, which got me wondering what you think of the previous titles in the series before Square Enix broke their Nintendium shackles and went to the Super Sugoi PlayStation, and by extension, what do you think of other game series that started as Nintendo exclusives because there were no other choices at the time? Is there hope for them as well? Oh, this is an interesting topic. Now, as all you swordlings know, there were 6 Final Fantasy games before Final Fantasy VII. They were all released on Nintendo consoles before Final Fantasy VII. and those versions of those games are no good. Due to bugs, bad translations, limited hardware capabilities, and restrictive game design, these titles were really awful. But Sef-sama, you might ask, can these titles be saved? Is there a way for these titles to be playable in the future? My Swordlings, they have already been saved a long time ago. Let me explain. Final Fantasy 1 and 2 were released on the superior PlayStation with updated visuals, graphics, sound, and gameplay, and are overall super SaGa games that you all should play on the PlayStation 1. Final Fantasy 3 got a full 3D remake on the PSP, which is also very superior and the best version to play, of course. And finally, Final Fantasy 4, 5, and 6 were all released on the PlayStation as well, with superior graphics, translation, and game design mechanics. So yes, these titles has been saved already, so you can go ahead and play those versions, but don't touch the old versions, because they are no good. As for other series that started off their life on an unfortunate console, the Tales of series also started off in that way. Tales of Phantasy was first released on that unfortunate console, but that game has also been saved, my Swordlings. An enhanced updated version was released for the PlayStation 1, also titled Tales of Phantasy. The graphics, sound, and gameplay were all enhanced, and there is also real voice acting in this one. Really SaGa, you should all go play it. So yes, these companies saw a way to actually make their games playable, and they of course took the advantage to make their games better and playable. The next topic comes from Little Miss Muffintop, who asks, why is it that certain anime series have been massively successful in the West, like Speed Racer or Dragon Ball Z, while most of other anime is only enjoyed by a smallish subculture? Is there something different about these series themselves, or did they just get lucky? Well, I'm glad you asked, because I have the answer to those questions. Now, the first anime you mentioned was Speed Racer, or the real name, Maha Go Go Go, which was released during the time when Japanese television started becoming popular in Japan. There wasn't a lot of shows on TV back then, so the ones that got viewed got instantly recognized and popularized. Shows such as Maha Go Go Go, Majiga Seto, and Super Sentai were all shows that started off during this era, and they are all really big franchises in Japan right now. So that is why those shows were popular. So it's not surprising that the West wanted in on some of that action. Now the second manga/anime that you mentioned was Dragon Ball, which is still a very successful franchise worldwide. But for Dragon Ball it is a little bit different. You see, Shonen Jump was very strong at this point in time. There were a lot of mangas that started becoming popular in the 80s, so being able to stand out at this point in time was quite the feat. But the reason why Dragon Ball worked was because of two reasons that I'm gonna give right now. The first one being that Dragon Ball popularized the idea of characters growing stronger from training. This was a very interesting concept for the time. Not a lot of mangas did this. For example, Kenshiro from Hokuto no Ken was already powerful enough in his series that he never needed to train to get stronger. He was already really strong to begin with, which is not a bad thing, by the way, since it fits his storyline very well of bringing back love to the wasteland. But going back to Dragon Ball, a lot of people could relate to it, and it was something new and exciting. So that is the first reason to why this was a successful tactic. And for the second reason, is that Dragon Ball changed over time. Dragon Ball decided to have arcs where the characters grew, not only in strength, but in age as well. Kids who grew up reading about Goku's adventures and fights grew up together with him. So by the time they got to the Saiyajin saga in Dragon Ball Seto, they were already invested and could relate to Goku and the other characters. So people that would normally grow out of a series never actually grew out of Dragon Ball, but they stuck with the show since it gradually changed over time, which is the second reason to why Dragon Ball was so successful and why it also was a smash hit outside of Japan as well. And that can be said about modern mangas and anime as well, like Boku no Hero Academia, who is also a worldwide phenomenon. And those were the questions for this month's Topic Corner of Culture. Arigato for all the questions/topics, my Super Swordlings. If you wish to ask for a topic for next month's Topic Corner of Culture, there is a comment that I'm pinned on this video that will take you to the Patreon. Anyway, I hope you Swordlings enjoyed this new format that I have for the Topic Corner of Culture videos. Once again, arigato for all the topics, my Super Swordlings, and arigato to you for watching this video. Moshi mosh!